For 10 years. Every month, I sent money to my parents, property taxes. Medical bills, home repairs. Whenever something went wrong, my phone rang. And every time I helped, I never saw it as a burden. They were my parents. I thought that's what family was supposed to do. So when my father passed away, I wasn't thinking about inheritance. I wasn't thinking about money. I was grieving. But 1 week after the funeral, I walked into a lawyer's office and learned a secret that changed everything I believed about my family. Because the house. The savings. The investments. Everything. Had already been given to my sister, and nobody thought I deserved to know. I was the oldest of 3 children. After college, I moved across the country for work. My sister stayed in our hometown. Everyone praised her for being nearby. She helped with errands, visited on weekends, showed up for birthdays. Meanwhile, I was the one handling the bills. When Dad needed a new roof, I paid. When Mom needed surgery, I paid. When the property taxes increased, I paid. At first it was only a few $100s here and there, then it became thousands. Every year there was another emergency. Another repair. Another crisis. And every time I helped without asking questions, whenever I hesitated. My parents always told me the same thing. Don't worry, everything will work out in the end. We appreciate everything you're doing. I believed them. For 10 years, I never kept score, because I trusted them. Then my father died unexpectedly. The funeral was difficult. Family members flew in from everywhere. People shared stories. Cried. Remembered better times. But something felt strange. My sister seemed unusually calm. Not heartbroken. Not relieved. Just confident. At the time, I ignored it. Everyone grieves differently. A week later, we met with Dad's attorney. I expected routine paperwork. Nothing more. The lawyer opened a folder and looked around the room. Then he looked directly at me. His expression changed, almost like he was confused. Then he asked, "Wait. Nobody told you?" I frowned. Told me what? The room went completely silent. My sister suddenly stared at the floor. My mother wouldn't look at me. And that's when I knew something was wrong. Very wrong. The attorney slowly explained, 2 years earlier, my parents had legally transferred ownership of their house. To my sister. Not jointly. Not equally. Not divided among the children. Just her. The house alone was worth nearly $600,000. I couldn't process what I was hearing. I thought there had to be a mistake. Their WSN single quotes T. Everything was documented. Everything was signed. Everything was legal. Then I learned something even worse. The transfer happened only 1 month after I helped pay off one of my parents' largest medical debts. Almost $27,000. I sat there staring at the paperwork, trying to understand how this made sense. I had spent years helping save a home that I no longer had any claim to, and nobody had bothered to tell me. That night, I couldn't sleep. So I started digging through old records. Bank statements, receipts. Transfers. Medical invoices, property tax payments, repair bills. Everything. For hours I added numbers together. The total stopped me cold. $127,483. 10 years, $127,000. Every payment documented. Every transfer saved. I stared at the screen in disbelief. Then I discovered something even worse. A family group chat, one I had never been added to. The messages stretched back years. There were photos. Family plans, conversations about holidays. Updates about Mom's health. And then I found the conversation, the one that changed everything. My sister wrote, "Since I'm the one living nearby, the house should stay with me." My father replied, "That makes sense." A few minutes later, my mother responded, "I agree." That was it. No discussion. No debate. No mention of me. Not once. The decision had been made years earlier. And while they were deciding who would inherit the house, they were still accepting my money. Month after month. Year after year. Before I returned home, I confronted my sister. I needed answers. So I asked her directly, Did you know they never told me? She didn't deny it. She didn't apologize. She simply crossed her arms. Then she said, "You chose to move away." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "I moved away for work," I replied. "I was still paying their bills." She shrugged. Then she said something I'll never forget. "Money isn't the same as being here." For a moment, neither of us spoke. Maybe she had a point. Maybe being physically present mattered. But if that was true, why had nobody ever refused my money? Why had nobody told me the truth? Why had they continued asking for help? My sister had no answer. She simply looked away. A month later, my mother called. For years, that phone call would have meant one thing, another problem, another expense. And I was right. The air conditioning system had failed. The replacement would cost more than $12,000. Normally, I would have sent the money immediately. But this time I asked a different question. I said, "Why doesn't the homeowner pay for it?" Silence. Several seconds passed. Then Mom quietly replied, "Your sister can't afford it." I took a deep breath. Then I answered, "Neither can I, and for the first time in 10 years. I didn't send $1. A week later, my sister put the house on the market. 3 months after that, she sold it. She walked away with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Money that changed her life forever. I received nothing. No share. No explanation. Not even an apology. But the story doesn't end there. Because 6 months later, my sister moved. To another state. The same state where I'd been living all along. After years of saying she deserved the house because she stayed close, she left too. And suddenly, all those reasons didn't seem so important anymore. Looking back now, the money doesn't bother me as much as the secrecy. If my parents had been honest from the beginning, maybe I would have understood. Maybe I wouldn't, but at least I would have had a choice. Instead, they made the decision for me. They accepted my sacrifices, my support, my trust, and they never told me the truth. I spent 10 years believing I was helping my family, only to discover I was helping fund a future that didn't include me. And that's a lesson I'll never forget, because helping family should come from love, not promises. And sometimes, the people you sacrifice the most for are the same people who never plan to return the favor. Would you keep helping your family after discovering this? Let me know in the comments.